So let's continue this essay. The word choice of limerick suggests again that the speaker is minimizing the horrors of war by allying war's weapons. Minimizing the horrors of war. And again, we want to go back to our thesis. Minimizes the atrocities of war. Let's talk about that a little bit. By implying what is double entendre. So it's sort of innocuous, right? As unpacking. The latter being a much more innocuous you could say innocuous and inane. Let's look up inane. Exactly what it means. I know it usually means like inane topics of conversation. So you want to think about like the phrase that you hear it in a lot. It's like silly, stupid, yeah. So just inane topics. But it's not really inane. It's not silly. It's just innocuous. In the former. Hence, speaker is minimizes. If you could say minimizes. Minimizes the horrors of war. Then you might want to add to this argument, like unpack or unfasten something ready for use. It's not only innocuous, but it's also saying that like cannons aren't useful unless they're unlimbered. By using this double entendre. So you can say their actual function, which is to destroy. Using this word that can be seen as let's see if we can make this point in one sentence. I don't think we need to go overboard with this. This innocuous second meaning and even the innocuous second meaning. And even the perfunctory first meaning. Reminds the reader that shows that the speaker minimizes the horrific bloodshed, death, and dismemberment. So now we can talk a little bit about how, you don't want to like put other quotes in, like, cause you just want to quote the poem, right? But you could talk about like a counterpoint. You could talk about what the poem could focus on if that's part of your thesis, right? Which is, it's sort of a part of our thesis. It's minimizing the atrocities of war and death and dismemberment that could be described in the poem, yet is not. Again, conveys the speaker minimization, minimalization. Let's look it up. I think it's minimalization. It's kind of a big word. You might not use it. Minimalization. To make minimalization. Yeah. It's kind of a big word. If it might not work. Oh, well, minimization worked. Let's look it up. It's a verb. We want the noun. The minimalization, right? We want the noun. Yeah, there it is. Minimalization. It's a tough word. So let's go here. And, okay, so for the horrific bloodshed and death, if we can use a better word, you could also say shows the speaker's minimizing bloodshed and death and dismemberment that could be described in the poem, yet is not. And then we want to add later still in line 62, the speaker elucidates, describes, relays, depicts the war as red business, which also paints this war effort as a clinical, buttoned up, and downright well, we already said three things: bloodshed and death and dismemberment. So let's put clinical and buttoned up. That could be considered a cliche, but I think it's all right. So we might change it. Okay, so as a clinical and buttoned up, in a clinical and buttoned up manner. Further you could say reducing the focus, and again it's minimizing, which goes back to our thesis, minimizes the atrocities of war. So let's look up synonym of minimizing. Minimize. And this is how I would think, you know, and you know, I probably remember all these words, but under duress, sometimes your brain is not going to be 100%, you know, sharp. So it's okay. Just look stuff up and you move on. Okay, so reduced, decreased, curtailed, diminished. Undervalue, understate. I think understate. Yeah, because we're sort of understating. Further understating. Further understating the atrocities. Bring to families and soldiers on both sides. Yes, so this paragraph is all about that part of the thesis that talks about minimizing the how horrible the bloodshed and how horrible the how horrible war can be. So all right, so we will meet next video for the next paragraph. Thank you very much.